Hey, it's day 134 of Hey, What Are You Doing Today? It's Wednesday. It was my thing to kind of regularly weigh myself. I've been keeping, actually, I changed that a little bit, so I've been keeping kind of a closer eye on that. But just to kind of tally where I'm at 197.5. I'm pretty confident I can count that as a 40-pound weight loss. Not sure exactly where I started, but I know that at my peak I was somewhere around 237, 238. So 197.5 puts me at 40 pounds. Be interesting if I could feel the difference, like an immediate thing, like go from 240 to 200, like that, and just see like, whoa, what the difference is. I mean, my flexibility is so much different. My legs are so much different. My walk and my step, all that I'm aware of. But it would just be interesting to have an immediate. If I could go back to 240 right now and just see what that felt like, and how uncomfortable I was versus now where I'm at, and just to have that sense and that sense of instant gratification that would come from that would just be something. But that's that's neither here nor there, but just something I was thinking about. Kind of interesting. Two things. Well, I'll probably forget the one by the time I get talking to the other one. But at 197, right around 197.5, about 7.5 pounds heavier than I was at the lightest weight I can remember in high school. And that was after a big diet. Even in high school, I was 210 pounds, and I got down to 190. Was pretty excited about that. As a wrestler, it was a weight class 189, which I always found it difficult to get into. And then right after 189, you went into heavyweight, which was anywhere from I believe it was 189. It might have been 191. I can't remember. It's been a while, but 189 sounds right. But then anyway, 189, 191, and then if you couldn't get in that weight class, the next weight class was heavyweight, which went all the way up from X to 250. So from 189 to 250. So I was always I could never get down to that 189 and wrestle at that weight class. I was always the little guy wrestling the heavyweights. Wasn't very successful at that. But anyway, kind of interesting to think that I'm 7.5 pounds away from where I was at in high school. That's pretty intense thought, that I could be at my high school weight here and 7.5 pounds away from it. The other thing that's made a big difference was that one little catchphrase. How does this benefit the long-term goal? I mean, that's come in handy so many times, and it's the little things, I think, that'll ruin my progress on a diet. I was mentioning about struggling to try to get to that 200-pound mark, and how I was up and down to 201, 204 in that range, back and forth. And a big part of what that change was having that self-control and that self-discipline through that one little saying. How is this going to affect the long-term goal? And now if I look at something, if I get a sweet tooth and I'm calling to eat a piece of candy or chocolate or whatever it might be, that runs through my brain. How does this affect the long-term goal? And then also that makes me think of the training that I'm trying to do with self-discipline, and those two go hand in hand. Next thing I know, I'm putting the thing down. And then that's saved me from a couple situations, for sure. I mean, that's another thing that I noticed too, is sometimes that one little trigger of let's say free pizza shows up, at my place of work. One little piece isn't going to hurt. However, what happens is, 9 times out of 10, that one piece turns into, well, I already had one, why not go back and have a second, why not go back and have a third, and then before I know it, it's 4 or 5 pieces, and then I'm writing the day off as a loss. That's kind of one of the things that was going on in the cycle. And now that one little trigger, how is this going to benefit the long-term goal? I mean, it's shut in the box, and I'm walking away from it. So those little things add up, even if it's just a small, little fun-sized Hershey bar or something. Put it down, and it doesn't turn into 3 or 4 of those. Doesn't turn into a whole day of feeling like the nutrition has been ruined. So that's been a really strong tool here the last couple of days. And actually, interestingly enough, there's a person that has a candy jar here at my work, and all kinds, whatever. It's the most variety I've ever seen in a candy jar. I mean, probably 20 different kinds of candies in any given flavor. and I went through it. I picked like three pieces out that I really wanted to eat the other day, and then put them in my my drawer, top drawer. So every time I open that drawer, I see those 3 pieces of candy, and they're like, it's so it's empowering to overcome that temptation every time I see them. It's as silly as that is. That one little control device, there's those candies. You can just grab one. They're small, they're easy to get to, easy to open, and they taste really freaking good. Close the drawer. I'm curious to see how long they'll sit in there. I mean, at some point I'm going to kind of reward myself with them. That's another entity of this. But it's interesting how that little willpower trick, and that training, that next, can get me to the next step, whatever that next step may be. But I can sense, I'm aware that it's a powerful thing, that now I can look at things and let them go, and ease that one little thing across my mind. What is it? Is it day 133? 134? What did I say at the beginning of this? My memory's not the best. My memory's getting better every day. I need to control that negative communication that I have with myself, and I do believe that, because I've been telling myself that so long, that my memory's not the best. 1 second. Pause. All right, back in the action. I did check. It's day 134, so it's 134 days. But that thing that I just said about my not having a good memory, I don't have the best memory, that's a perfect example of some of the negative talk that I'm trying to change in me. I mean, it's one of those things that, if I hear myself tell it over and over again, and it's going to become more and more true. And my memory's not bad, It's very specific with what it remembers. It's very specific with what it retains. I need to retrain it to retain certain things that I'm aware of not being so strong at. But it's not that my memory's weak or bad. It's ill exercise. It just needs to be retrained. So that's another focus that's coming up here, that I'm gonna, it's something that I've become aware of, that it's a weakness that I have, and it's something that I need to work on. So just hearing myself say it now, I think I'm going to start incorporating some memory training techniques. I'm going to look into that a little bit and see what I can do to help me retain information, and try to grow that function in my brain. And that's the other element that's we're talking about training. I mean, the brain really is in a lot of regards kind of like a muscle, and it's just like working out or something. It's however you want to work it out, that's what you'll get out of it. If I invest this time into thinking and reading and learning and listening and concentrating on what I can retain and using what I retain, my brain is going to function much clearer on those levels with those certain things. Just like using a tool every day, or even more simply, just going on a keyboard and typing. If you start out, you're not so good at it, and then before you know it, it's just second nature, and you jump back on it. So I'm aware that there's some weaknesses in some areas of my brain, and I got to work on them. So that's my memory. I have a memory that I'm strengthening. I don't have a bad memory, but I have a memory that's getting stronger every day, and I'm working on every day. And the real thing I want to talk about, oddly enough, was waiting. Waiting and patience. It's a huge element to what's going on. Anytime I try to take on a task that I know is going to require work and require effort and require steady day-to-day, revisiting that task. One part of it is the waiting for something that I know is going to happen, something that I know is going to occur. Something that's down the road. It's one of those things, like, it can be the hardest part, like when you're in a waiting room where the DMV or MVA, whatever you call it in your state, the Bureau of Motor Vehicles, where you're waiting to get license plates and you're in line for 40 minutes to get a ticket to be in line. One of those kind of situations, if yours is as bad as mine is here. But anyway, it's just one of those things that's, it can be the most awful experience, having to go through that just downtime, being kind of, or I can take control over it. I can turn that waiting experience into something very valuable, turn that time into something very valuable. And waiting Tom Petty says it's the hardest part, but you know, maybe the best part, and maybe, you know, half the fun when it comes down to it. The waiting, you know, is when I have downtime now, I find myself looking for information, looking for, you know, how can I got 20 minutes here. What can I do? What can I reinforce? What can I strengthen? Can I read my notes for the day? Can I check my tasks for the day? Can I read one of the books that I'm reading on my phone for the day? Is there something I can listen to? What can I do to make this next, you know, 10 or 15, 20 minutes of waiting productive? And so in that waiting, there's also that preparation and and waiting, you know, knowing, keeping that vision, keeping that beacon of light that I've mentioned before out there, so I can concentrate on it and recognize that I'm waiting. At some point, I'm going to arrive. You know, at some point, I'm going to, you know, be right there in the thick of that light, and just enjoying everything that it has to offer. And, you know, all that time chasing it, I'll finally understand exactly what it was. You know, I'm still at that point where that light's getting brighter, but it's still just a light. I'm not real sure what's there. You know, it's I think I mentioned in one of these videos a long time ago, 100 and some days ago, that there was an island across the water behind my house, and I was curious to see the island, and there was this thing I thought was a windmill. It's the only thing I could really make out. I could make out, you know, there's a small beach area, and I could tell that there was some kind of a structure of some sort, some kind of buildings, and there was looked like a lookout tower, and then there was this thing next to the tower which looked like a windmill. And when I finally got over there, you know, and for like a year I was looking at this, and there's a windmill. You know, my mind would say that there's a windmill out there. And when I finally got out to the island, it turned out the windmill was this huge osprey nest. An osprey is a kind of a waterfowl, like an eagle. It's like the eagle of the water, I guess is a good way to describe it. But there's this huge osprey nest. The whole time I thought it was a windmill, and I got out there and found out it was something even more amazing than a windmill. So hopefully that'll be the case with this. You know, I've got this beacon of light that's floating out there. This end game to the goal, and there's no real end game to this goal. That's the interesting thing, is this is just a year process, a year of progress, a year of documenting, you know, my thoughts and experiences and my emotions and things that I pick up along the way. That's all this is. It's not an end goal. What'll hopefully happen is that after a year of this, I'll be so strong that I just keep the momentum going and move on to bigger and bigger projects. But this is, you know, just one of the things that I had to do and I had to go through. You know, I had to get myself physically fit, I had to get myself mentally fit, spiritually fit, socially fit, you know, on all those levels to pursue the next step. And again, that wasn't even really the initial goal. The initial goal was to get myself in shape and start a small business. And then this goal has kind of gone down this, you know, this crazy spider web of things that I'm doing, and they all seem kind of off topic for starting a business, but at the same time, when I look at it, they're all just like, you know, perfect components that I had never considered, never would have considered being a huge component. You know, creating patience, creating resilience, creating intelligence, creating strength, creating a higher value, creating a higher spiritual plane, you know, all, you know, calm, and how I handle myself and how I react to other people or how I react to situations. All these are huge elements of business that I, you know, would never have thought to have explored. It's just the way the ether has carried me on this project that I put out there. I said I want this and I want this. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, and this is the path that it's taken me down. So I'm just rolling with it and enjoying the hell out of it. I really am. You know, I don't want to make light of it. It's had its ups and downs, positives and negatives, as life will have, and there's been benefits that have come from all of those. But it really has been an enjoyable, life-changing, eye-awakening, you know, totally refreshing experience, and I'm pretty friggin' psyched about it. And the waiting has been the best part so far. So, you know, I've got X amount of days left until I hit day 365. I don't know, day 365. Maybe I'll get one of them little poppers in a balloon and have a little party in the truck to celebrate. Hopefully, I won't be in the truck. Well, hopefully I'll be anywhere that is above ground. How's that? But it would be nice to be on a different plane and be generating my own income and be in control and on my own situation, my own circumstance, my own time. That's a huge end goal to this. But if I'm still in the truck, I'm still in the truck. You know, I'm still, as long as I stay on it. You know, it doesn't. doesn't matter the time. It doesn't matter how long I have to wait. It doesn't matter, you know, as long as I'm putting out the effort and as long as I'm getting some kind of return on it, I'm content. I'm content with that, and I'm happy with myself, and I'm happy what I'm choosing to do, and I'm happy with the progress I've made. So right now, that's it. The waiting is the funnest part. Day 134. Hey, what are you doing today? Thanks.